All right, at long last, Nintendo has showed off the successor to the Nintendo Switch. They're calling the Nintendo Switch 2. I think that's a good move. Not going to get another Wii U like thing. Pretty clear. Pretty. It's interesting that no one else has really done this except for PlayStation. So this is the first Switch 2. That's just what it's called. So pretty clear, pretty straight up. And as you can see here, not super different from the original Switch. A little bigger, it looks like. They detail the new Joy-Cons a little bit. And they just put out this quick little video that I'm going to loop discussing and showing. They don't even have any discussion. It's all in the video. But I'm going to discuss it myself of what I think so far. I like the way that they have the Joy-Cons looking here, like the all black, but then with the accents, I think is really cool. I know the rumor is that these are like magnetic Joy-Cons. I don't know. I don't think it really shows that, or that doesn't really come across in the trailer. Maybe it does. But looks about the same. I'd be interested. I wish they'd showed what the Pro Controller looks like. I wonder if it's going to be the original Switch Pro Controller that you can still use, or if it's going to be something completely different. They showed it being able to use kind of like a mouse there, it looks like, so I think that'll be cool. Would be cool for stuff like, I know they're getting ports of Civilization. I know they're getting ports of, like, I think like Sega puts out like the 2-point games on Switch. So more like mouse games would be really cool on the Switch. Stuff like that. Stuff with pointing and clicking. So I like the idea of having it there, and yeah, it looks nice. The logo is just flat out a Switch icon with Switch 2, and they show Mario Kart. Looks like the next Mario Kart game, which is exciting. That is the only game that they show, because at the end of the presentation, they show us that we will have to wait until April to get any more information. So that's going to be a rough couple months waiting up to that, but it is coming out in 2025. Backwards compatible, as this here says, which I think is awesome. Hopefully a lot of the games will be beefed up and everything, but we'll come back to that in a second. And April 2nd, we will get a Nintendo Direct. And we will see games, and hopefully it'll be pretty long one. I mean, I could expect something like that being like an hour or more long. So very interesting. So now that I'm going to let this loop and we'll kind of discuss this more. So very excited, obviously. The original Switch, I think anyone can tell you, is starting to get a little long in the tooth. The hardware itself is getting pretty aged. I mean, when you really look at it, it's a $200 tablet that was in development probably about a decade ago now, because I mean the Switch came out 8 years ago. So it's been a while. And the Switch has been chugging along. It's been doing great. But from the rumors we have, it seems like this is obviously going to be more powerful, but it seems like it's going to be able to get pretty contemporary ports of stuff for the most part. People are saying, you hear some people saying, oh, more powerful than PS4, which is good. Obviously, you'd hope that. But people are saying like around Xbox Series S, a little bit less powerful than Xbox Series S. Maybe around like Xbox One X, PS4 Pro. And I mean, we get so many games come into the PlayStation 4 base model these days and the Xbox One base model these days, then it's like, well, I mean, if this thing can run that as a baseline, I really feel like we're in good shape. Nintendo always has a way of making their games run and look pretty nice on their systems, even though something as, powerless as the Switch feels now. It still has some games where you look at it and you're like, man, this was made for the Switch and it looks really nice. It runs really well. I think of stuff like Mario Odyssey still looks great even now, and all kinds of stuff like that. So I'm so excited to see, where things go with this from here. I'm going to guess we're going to see more and more stuff leaking. Obviously, leaks were big, and we were seeing, parts of the system, and we were seeing the dock and all kinds of stuff. So that's not a huge surprise. Games, for the most part, have not leaked. We have a few rumors that, like, some Assassin's Creed games are going to be coming to the Switch 2. A later port of, like, what was last year? Last one was Mirage, I think, and then a port a little bit later than 2 of Assassin's Creed Shadows. So, it seems like those are going to come, and that would be a big deal if Assassin's Creed Shadows comes, because it means that, we're going to be getting a pretty big AAA game right out the gate. So I think that would be cool. Even if that series is not really for me. I would assume like Persona 3 Reload and Metaphor ReFantazio would come. Those were on PS4 and Xbox One, so I have no doubt that they will come to the Switch too. So those are some of the third-party ones, but it's really anyone's guess of what we could get for Switch 2 games as far as things go for the system in first-party games. We got like Mario Party 9 or Mario Kart 9. And even then, maybe they don't call it Mario Kart 9. Maybe they call it Mario Kart 10 because they count the mobile game. Who knows? Maybe it's called Mario Kart something else entirely. You never know. So it's been a long time. Obviously, Mario Kart 8 originally came out in 2014, and it was ported in 2017. So even since, the port, it's been a long time. But Switch never got its own original game. They supported Mario Kart 8 for quite a while. But Mario Kart 9, or next Mario Kart, is a very exciting prospect. Looking forward to that. I mean, it seems like Sakurai has been working on something in the background. I wonder if... Because, his YouTube channel, he revealed that all this stuff he had pre-recorded back in, 2022. So, he seems to have been working on something since 2022. So maybe Smash Brothers is next year, maybe at some point. I'd love to see what the launch lineup is. I wish they would have kind of showed and I get why they didn't. I wish they would have just said, release date is, whatever day. And we are going to give you this. This is the launch lineup of Nintendo games. And they show maybe Mario Kart. Maybe they show whatever. Metroid Prime 4, maybe. Who knows? I wish they would have done that. I get why they didn't. April 2nd for a Direct means that a March release that was kind of rumored is out of the question, obviously. And the original Switch was really revealed in October. They first showed the system in something like this, and then they showed the game lineup in January for the system to come out in March. So if they want to do something similar here, I'm guessing that maybe we'll see the system come out in June. I think that would be really cool. Get kids while they're off school coming out there. I think that would be a good time for it. I'm off in the summers too. So I would love for the Switch 2 to come out then. That'd be awesome. But very exciting just of, what could happen. I think for launch lineup, I think if they're showing Mario Kart, I think Mario Kart's going to be there at launch. And I think that's a killer launch game. That's incredible that they would put that out at launch. I think that's an amazing launch game. Other than that, I could see them, I think it'd be cool to have single player game, multiplayer game, and then some smaller stuff. They had Zelda, obviously, is the big single player game. 1-2 Switch is the multiplayer game, and then Snipper Clips is the smaller game. So I wonder if we get something I don't think they put out 2 Mario games, but maybe we get a Metroid Prime 4 single player game, Mario Kart multiplayer game, and whatever smaller game that they come up with, probably something new. Would be interested to see how that rolls, and I'm interested to see who is going to be there at launch as far as third parties. I have no doubt Ubisoft will be there in some capacity there at every launch, even if it's just Dance port from last year's Just Dance or something. No doubt that they'll be there at launch. But I wonder, is Call of Duty going to show up at launch? That could be interesting. A little bit of later port of a Call of Duty. I don't see why that wouldn't be possible. What else is going to be at the launch of the Switch, third-party wise, could be very interesting. And I could maybe Atlas shows up and puts one of those ports I mentioned earlier. Sega puts some Yakuza on there or something. You never know. I know the rumors are that Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to come, and maybe Final Fantasy 16, so maybe those are there or close to launch or at launch. I know another rumor is that Final Fantasy 16 is coming to Xbox probably soon, and I wonder if it's going to come to Xbox and Switch too, the same day. That could be interesting. So a lot of exciting things ahead. I think this is what we were needing because Nintendo... It was so clear. Besides the leaks, it was so clear that Nintendo is, coming up to something. Because for 2025, as far as their game releases go, we know of Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, which is the third release of Donkey Kong Country Returns. The second time they've re-released it, so we knew that was coming. And then that was it. We knew Metroid Prime 4, but even then we were like, is this a Switch game or is this Switch 2 or is this cross-gen? We had no idea. So, obviously something was up, but it's just funny. It's yeah, guys, come on. We know that something's coming. All you have to show us is the second re-release of Donkey Kong Country Returns. So, finally. So, it's going to be brutal waiting till April. I think the speculation is going to be rough, but it's also man, there is nothing going on in Nintendo land. From now until then. So we will have to see, but I'm hoping for a June, maybe July release. sometime in the summer I think would be great. And I'm just very excited. I'm hoping that, it's confirmed backwards compatible, which I think that would be obvious. And they're still touting, obviously, physical games for Switch 2. It said all physical and digital games will work on Switch 1, so you'll be able to bring your library over, which, you never know with Nintendo. That should be expected from anyone else, but you never know with Nintendo. People have Wii U and Wii and 3DS libraries that are locked to the specific hardware, so you never know sometimes. But hopefully they will detail the backwards compatibility more in this Direct. It would be very cool to see if, like, you put in your copy of this and it runs unlocked at this frame rate or something, or, we're going to be doing a kind of an update to this where this Switch game, you put in, I don't know, Astral Chain, and it was 30 FPS on the Switch 1, but now it's 60 FPS on Switch 2. We're just going to update it to that. Would be awesome to see that. Zelda Echoes of Wisdom hopefully will run better than it does on the original Switch, or many things like that. I think that could be cool. Maybe getting some resolution bumps and some frame rate bumps. I know that the rumors are too that it's going to be more. The dock is actually going to have some power in it to make the thing more powerful. So we'll see how that goes, and maybe we'll get 4K output. Hopefully we'll get 4K output, but you never know. And I'd be interested to see, doesn't look like the screen is OLED by any means, so I'd be interested to see like where they're going to have that resolution at. I'm going to guess, you're going to hope that they at least go a 1080 screen on the thing. You're going to hope that they don't do 720, but honestly, I don't play Switch in the handheld mode very often, so, and the size it's at isn't a huge deal breaker if it's not 4K, but it would be nice. All right, if it's not 1080, I don't think it's going to be 4K. That'd be nice though. And the price point, I'm interested to see. My guess is 400. I don't think that they're going to sell it for less than 400, and I think 400 is pretty fair when you have a PS5 that is 500, and you have the Series X that's 500, and you have the PS5 Pro that's $700. I think fitting this in here at 400. The only thing I can think is that, the Series S is going to be $300 and maybe a bit powerful, maybe not, we never know. But I think that the Series S is kind of its own thing of like, this is a budget option for the people who want to play Fortnite and Madden, and that's pretty much it. So I think that Switch 2 will kind of be in a better place where I think they'll be able to say, like, 400, this thing has a cartridge slot, you can play physical games on it, and it's a Nintendo system. Other than that, I wonder if we'll see, some of the games that were coming to, not coming to Switch. I wonder if we'll see like the EA Sports games. I mean, I don't really care about that, but it was always weird that Madden and everything, college football and all that were not on the Switch, but the stuff like NBA 2K and even FIFA, which is EA, but a lot of the sports games were coming, and EA PGA Tour I think was coming to Switch as well, so it'll be interesting to see. I think it had to do with the engine of Madden. I'm wondering if Madden will come, and I'm wondering just who else will be there. Will there be any exclusive games from third party? Like, will Ubisoft have a Switch only game like out the door or something? I mean, they had Zombie U when they came out originally on the Wii U, so that could be interesting as well. I'm just now noticing that this Mario Kart uses the Mario movie looking Donkey Kong in the video here. They're using like the Mario movie looking Donkey Kong rather than the Mario games Donkey Kong. I'll go back a little bit. I just have this looped on YouTube. But you can kind of see here, it looks more like the Mario movie. But other than that, I think the characters look mostly how they usually look, but that's interesting. I wonder if that lines up with like a Donkey Kong movie that'll be coming out or announced somewhere around the time. But very exciting stuff. I'm looking forward to this greatly. Looking forward to April 2nd. I think that's going to be a very exciting Direct. It might be, looking back, one of the all-time great Nintendo Directs. Because if you remember, it was not a Nintendo Direct that they showed the original Switch. It was this weird like stage presentation. And it was not very good. I'll say that. I mean, they showed some interesting games, but it's not very good. But coming out the gate, their first year launch of Switch, that first year had a lot of great stuff. There was Zelda and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, ARMS, Splatoon, Xenoblade 2. They really came out the gate strong. And they were in a bad spot then, so I think they kind of needed to, but I think they also kind of need to as well here, like really show that they're still sticking with it. So I wonder, will Monolith have a new game? It's been a while. They were working on that other IP, so will we see a new IP from Monolith? Will we see, Luigi's Mansion sometime soon? It's been a while for that. I feel like every single, big franchise from Nintendo, it's been a while since we've seen it, but also I'd like to see some new stuff. Too. Like, if the Switch, I'll be a little disappointed if the Switch 2, they show it and they're saying, all right, here's next Mario Kart, here's the next, installment in Splatoon, here's the next installment in ARMS, here's the next installment in Smash Brothers, and it's just over and over again, and that's what every Nintendo console is now. I'd like to see some new stuff. Obviously a new 3D Mario, how they handle that, how it's different from Odyssey, or how it's, similar to Odyssey. That would be very exciting. A new Zelda game would be very exciting. Maybe if it's not in the same style as the 2 Switch games and they move on from that style to something new, that'd be interesting. But very excited and very ready for April 2nd. So I don't know what else to say. I think that's it for this. Thanks for listening to my rambling. I have no idea how long this went, but I appreciate you listening to my rambling. Let me know down in the comments what you're excited about, what you're looking forward to, and what you think about the Nintendo Switch 2. And until next time, I'd like to thank you for watching.